Why we don't truly listen. Most conversations feel fast and thin. We hear words, but we do not catch the heart behind them. While the other person speaks, our mind runs ahead. We plan our answer, we search for a smart point, we wait for a small pause to jump in. The talk continues, yet real connection does not appear. Often our ego sits in the center. We want to be right, to look clever, to win the moment. We listen like a lawyer, collecting details that support our view and ignoring the rest. The other person senses this and pulls back. Two voices share a space, but two separate worlds remain. Distraction makes it worse. Phones buzz, screens glow, and our inner noise is loud. Worries, plans, old stories. Even when even when our body stays in the room, our attention drifts. We offer quick advice, a joke, or a change of subject to escape strong feelings. The message bends and then breaks. Deep listening is a different choice. It is slow and kind. We listen to understand before we speak. We notice words, tone, and silence. We give the other person time to finish their thought. We reflect what we heard to check our understanding. In this small space of care, trust grows and meaning becomes clear. When someone feels truly heard, their shoulders drop, their voice softens, and honest details arrive. Problems look simpler. Next steps appear without force. Deep listening does not promise easy answers, but it creates a safe room where truth can breathe. This chapter invites a gentle practice. Bring your full attention to one conversation today. Put the phone away, pause before you answer, and reflect one feeling and one fact you heard. Notice what changes in the other person and in you. The 8 Steps Overview. Deep listening is not one habit, it is a small path with 8 clear steps. Each step is simple on its own, but together they change the quality of any conversation. We begin with space. Make a clean, quiet place for the talk. Put the phone away, close the door, sit where you can see each other. A safe space tells the other person you matter here. Next comes self-awareness and presence. Before the first word, notice your inner weather. Are you tired, angry, rushed? Name it quietly, then set it down. Presence means arriving with your whole attention. Body still, breath easy, mind here, not in the past or the next task. With a steadier mind, you open curiosity. Ask yourself, what might I learn? Let the other person lead. Curiosity is kind and gentle. It does not hunt for a gotcha. It invites stories, details, and feelings without pushing or pulling. Your gaze and silence support this. Keep soft eye contact. Look with warmth, not pressure. Leave short pauses after answers. Silence is not empty. It is a small room where deeper thoughts can appear. Do not rush to fill it with advice or jokes. Then comes reflection. Offer back what you heard in simple words, so you felt and because, or what I'm hearing is. Reflection checks understanding and shows care. It helps both people see the picture more clearly, piece by piece. Finally, depth. When trust is present, you can ask a gentle, open question that goes one layer lower. What matters most here? Or what do you need right now? Depth is not drama, it is calm attention to the heart of the matter. Step by step, space, self-awareness, presence, curiosity, gaze, silence, reflection, depth. Listening becomes a practice and conversations begin to heal. Step 1. Create space. Good listening begins before any words. Space is the ground where trust can grow, and without it, people rush, hide, or fight. Start with the room itself. Choose a quiet place, put phones on silent and out of sight. Close the door if possible, and sit where you can see each other clearly. Check the light, the air, and the temperature. Offer water or tissues. Remove small distractions like open tabs, buzzing watches, or a messy table. When the room feels calm and simple, the body relaxes, the breath slows, and the speaker feels safe enough to share more than headlines. Emotional space is the next layer. Use a warm tone and a steady pace to say one clear line like, I have time, or I want to understand. Keep your body open, shoulders loose, hands still, feet grounded, and let your face show care without pressure. Promise privacy and respect and avoid quick judgment, fast advice, or jokes that change the mood. Emotional space tells the other person, you do not need to perform here, you can bring your true story. When people sense this, their sentences grow longer, their voice steadies, and the real topic begins to appear. Inner space is your own state. Before the talk, scan your mood and name it quietly, tired, angry, rushed, excited. Take 3 slow breaths and set the feeling aside so it does not lead the conversation. If you cannot be present now, say so and choose a better time. Honest timing is kinder than half listening. During the talk, notice your inner noise, plans, opinions, memories, and let it pass like clouds. Return to the person in front of you. Presence is not a trick. It is a decision you make again and again in the same minute. Small rituals help hold the space. Begin by silencing phones together, agreeing on a time window, and promising not to interrupt. Decide where to sit, side by side for support, or across a small table for focus, so both feel comfortable. Keep soft eye contact without staring. Nod to show you are with them, and allow short silences after important sentences. If the room becomes noisy, pause and fix it. If strong feelings rise, slow down and make space for them. Space is not empty, it is the quiet frame that lets meaning come into view. Care for comfort and culture so attention can stay steady. Ask if the chair is fine, if the air is too cold, if the person would like the door open or closed, if water would help. Remember that norms differ. Some people prefer less eye contact, more distance, or at all. When you are unsure, ask simple questions and follow the answer. The goal is not luxury, the goal is ease, because a calm body supports a clear voice and a brave heart. To practice, prepare the room 5 minutes early, remove one distraction, take 3 calm breaths, and open with one caring line like, "Take your time, I'm here." Protect that space until the conversation ends. When you do this well, you will notice softer shoulders, deeper breaths, longer answers, and a feeling that the talk is not a test, but a safe place to tell the truth. That feeling is the sign that real listening has begun. Step 2 and 3, listen to yourself and be present. Good listening begins inside. Before you give attention to another person, look at your own inner world. Notice what is moving in you right now: feelings, judgments, memories, hopes. Name them in simple words: tired, worried, excited, angry, wanting to fix. When you name a feeling, it becomes smaller and easier to hold. You do not need to push it away or follow it, you only need to see it. This quiet check-in makes space so the other person does not have to fight your hidden storms. Now choose presence. Presence means you arrive with your whole body and mind. Put the phone out of sight, close the extra tabs, and turn your chair toward the speaker. Feel your feet on the floor and your breath in your chest. Take 2 slow breaths and let your shoulders drop. Tell yourself, I am here for this one moment. Presence is not a special talent. It is a decision you repeat again and again, each time your attention wanders. Your mind will still try to run. Thoughts will pull you to the past, to your next task, to a smart reply. When that happens, notice it without blame and gently return. Some people use a tiny anchor to help: the rhythm of breathing, the weight of the hands, the sound of the other person's voice. Each time you come back, you practice a small muscle of attention, and it grows stronger. Listening to yourself also means watching your quick reactions. You may judge, plan advice, or build a debate in your head. When you catch this, give it a soft label: judging, fixing, defending, performing, and let it pass like a cloud. You are not your first reaction. You can choose a slower, kinder second response: curious, open, patient. In this way, you protect the conversation from your own rush. Presence shows in your body. Keep a calm face and soft gaze. Do not stare, but do not look away too often. Let your hands be still, your voice low and steady, your pace unhurried. Short silences are welcome. They tell the speaker there is room to think. If strong feelings rise in you, notice them, breathe once, and come back. If strong feelings rise in them, stay with them, breathe once, and keep the room safe. A small practice can join both steps. Before an important talk, take 60 seconds alone. Close your eyes, scan your body, name what you feel, and breathe out slowly. Then open your eyes, put the phone away, turn your chair, and say one clear line: I'm here. If you get distracted later, repeat the cycle in 3 seconds. Notice, name, return. This is how self-awareness and presence work together. First, you listen to yourself, then you can truly listen to them. Step 4, be curious. Curiosity is a gentle way of paying attention. Instead of rushing to answers, you slow down and look for meaning. You ask yourself what matters to the other person and what you might be missing. This mindset changes the feeling of the room. The speaker senses that you are here to understand, not to argue or win. Open questions help your curiosity breathe. When you ask what happened, how it felt, and when it began, the story becomes wider and clearer. The other person chooses their words and pace, and you follow. If your mind starts to push a strong opinion, notice it, set it aside for now, and return to their world. Curiosity is not a trick, it is a choice you make again and again. Judgment will try to take control. It wants to sort the story into right and wrong, strong and weak. When you hear that hard voice inside, name it quietly and let it pass. Replace it with a softer line in your head: help me understand. When you do this, small but important details start to appear. Feelings that were hidden, facts that were missed, needs that were never spoken. Curiosity also cares about pace. You do not dig like a detective, you explore like a respectful guest. If the speaker slows down or looks away, you match their speed. A short silence is not a mistake, it is an open door. Many people will step through it if you give them time. When they do, you stay steady and kind. Your face and voice carry your curiosity. Keep a warm gaze without staring. Sit in a calm way with hands still and shoulders relaxed. Let your voice be low and even. When you think you understand, offer a short reflection in simple words and check if it is right. If it is not, thank them for correcting you and try again. Accuracy shows care and care builds trust. Curiosity respects boundaries. If the person says not now, you listen. You can ask whether they would like to stay with the main point or move to a different part of the story. Real curiosity is not hungry, it does not chase pain. It invites and waits. The goal is not to go deep at any cost. The goal is to understand what is true and helpful today. A small scene can show the flow. Someone says the meeting was a mess. You answer it felt messy and wait. They add people talked over me. You say you weren't heard and then ask, what did you need at that moment? Step by step, the picture opens without pressure. The person feels seen and the next action becomes easier to find. You can practice this step in a simple way. Choose one conversation today and bring a curious mind to it. Ask 2 or 3 open questions. Offer one short reflection and leave a little silence after the answer. Notice how the other person's shoulders relax, how their voice slows, and how your own attention feels lighter. That is curiosity doing its quiet work. Step 5 and 6, hold the gaze and hold the silence. Gaze is quiet, care made visible. When you look at someone with S. Step 5 and 6, hold the gaze and hold the silence. Step 5 and 6, hold the gaze and hold the silence. Gaze is quiet, care made visible. When you look at someone with a warm, steady face, you are saying without words, I am here with you. Your eyes are soft, not sharp. You are not staring, but you are not hiding either. Your shoulders rest, your hands are still, and your body turns toward the speaker. This calm posture lowers the noise inside the room. The person feels safe enough to move from short answers to real stories. A good gaze follows comfort. Some people like strong eye contact, others want less. You can let the eyes breathe, meet their look, then gently shift to the hands or the table, and return after a second. If the speaker looks down to think, you give them room. If they look back to you, you meet their eyes again. Your voice matches your face, slower, even, kind. In this soft field, feelings can appear without shame. Culture and history also shape the gaze. In some places, long eye contact shows respect. In others, it feels heavy. Some people carry past experiences that make strong gaze feel unsafe. You can notice the signals, the small turn of the head, the tight jaw, the quick blink, and reduce the intensity. Care is not a fixed look, it is a flexible one. Silence is the partner of gaze. A pause after a sentence is not empty, it is a small door. In the first seconds, both of you may feel a pull to speak. If you rush to fill the gap with advice or a new question, the deeper part of the story cannot enter. When you hold the silence for 2 or 3 calm breaths, the speaker often continues on their own. They choose better words, they hear their own thoughts, and they touch what really matters. Holding silence does not mean leaving the person alone. You stay present in the quiet. Your face stays warm, your posture steady, your breathing easy. If the silence grows heavy, you can offer one soft line, take your time, or I'm here, and then return to quiet. The message is simple, there is no hurry, this moment belongs to you. There is a difference between helpful silence and cold silence. Helpful silence feels like space, cold silence feels like distance. Helpful silence comes with tiny signs of care, a slow nod, a relaxed mouth, a gentle breath. Cold silence has tight shoulders, hard eyes, or a face that looks bored. If you notice the quiet turning cold, bring back warmth with your eyes and a small or I see, then let the silence continue. Common mistakes are easy to fix. Some listeners jump in too soon because the pause makes them nervous. Some stare too hard because they want to prove attention. The simple repair is to soften. Let your gaze rest rather than press. Let the second pass rather than chase it. If you interrupt, you can say, sorry, please go on, and give the space back. A small scene shows the rhythm. The speaker says, the meeting broke me. You meet their eyes, gentle and steady. You give a short reflection, it hit you hard. Then you hold the silence. 10 seconds pass. Their shoulders drop and they add, I felt invisible when they talked over me. You keep the warm gaze, nod once, and wait a little longer. More truth arrives because the room did not rush. Together, gaze and silence make a safe circle. Eyes say, you matter, and quiet says, there is space. In that circle, people often find their own next step. They do not need a speech, they need a steady witness. You can practice today by giving one person your softer eyes and a longer pause than usual. Notice how the voice changes when the pressure fades. That is the sound of being heard. Step 7. Reflect back. Reflecting back is simple and powerful. You say in your own words what you heard, then check if it is right. This shows care and helps both of you see the same picture. Many conflicts begin with small misunderstandings. A short reflection can stop them before they grow. Your tone is gentle, your pace is slow, and your goal is clarity, not victory. Begin with the heart of their message. Name one fact and one feeling, then invite correction. You might say, so the deadline moved and you felt unprepared. Did I get that right? Or you wanted support but you felt alone, is that it? Keep the sentence short and clean. You are not giving a speech, you are holding up a mirror. If they answer but almost, you thank them and adjust until it matches their experience. Avoid parroting every word. Reflection is not a tape recorder, it is a careful summary. Choose the key lines they gave you and the feeling behind them. If you miss the feeling, the speaker may repeat themselves or grow tense. If you name it well, their shoulders often drop and more truth arrives. When you are unsure, choose softer language. It sounds like duh or I hear that. This keeps the door open. Timing matters. Reflect when the person pauses, not in the middle of a sentence. Let them finish, leave a small silence, then offer your mirror. If emotions are strong, keep your voice steady and low. Do not rush to advice or judgment after the reflection. Wait for their reply. Sometimes they will add details, sometimes they will correct you, sometimes they will simply feel seen, and that is enough for now. Depth grows in layers. First, you reflect the surface, who, what, when. Then you touch the feeling, frustrated, hurt, relieved, proud. Finally, when trust is there, you can reflect the need or value, respect, safety, fairness, belonging. A line like "you needed respect in that meeting" can unlock a whole story because it reaches the part that matters most. If you get it wrong, repair it quickly and kindly. You can say "thank you, that helps," or "let me try again." Correction is not failure, it is teamwork. Each small repair builds trust because the speaker learns you care more about truth than about being right. Over time, mamma mia, this makes the conversation steadier and kinder. You can practice today in a short talk. Listen until the other person finishes, pause for a breath, and reflect one fact and one feeling, then ask, did I get you right? Notice how the tone changes when understanding is checked instead of assumed. That calm shift is the sound of trust beginning to grow. Step 8. Go deeper. Going deeper begins after the surface is truly heard. Facts are on the table, the main timeline is clear, and the speaker feels safe. Now you invite the meaning under the story. Feelings that were hinted at, needs that were not named, small contradictions that point to something important. You do this slowly and kindly, not to push, but to understand what the words are trying to carry. Depth often appears when you reflect the feeling and add a gentle doorway. You might say, it sounded heavy when you spoke about that meeting, and then pause. If the person nods, you can wonder aloud, what part was hardest for you? Sometimes the answer is a simple emotion, frustration, fear, relief. Sometimes a hidden story arrives, a memory from another time, or a rule the person learned long ago. When the room stays calm, these layers come forward on their own. Contradictions are useful guides. People may say, I don't care, while their hands shake, or it's fine, while their voice goes flat. Going deeper means noticing these signals and offering a soft mirror. You said it's fine, and I also saw your hands tremble when you spoke. You are not accusing, you are inviting the full truth. If they correct you, you thank them and adjust. If they agree, the conversation moves to a more honest level. Metaphors can help when words feel heavy. A person might say, it's like I'm carrying a backpack of stones, or it feels like walking in fog. When you hear an image, stay with it. Ask what the stones are, or what the fog hides, or how the path could get lighter. Images give shape to feelings and make the next step easier to see. In this way, depth does not become drama, it becomes a clearer picture. Pace matters. You do not dig, you invite. You match the speaker's speed, let silence do part of the work, and move one layer at a time. If the person looks away or tightens their shoulders, you slow down or step back. Depth without safety is pressure. Depth with safety is relief. The body tells you which one you are making. Sometimes depth is not more emotion, but more precision. After a strong moment, you might gather what you heard into one simple line. You felt alone, you wanted respect, and you chose silence to stay safe. Then you ask if that is right. If the person says almost, you repair together until the line fits. From there, the path to action appears naturally. Maybe a boundary, a request, a small experiment for tomorrow. True depth ends with clarity, not confusion. The work of this step is gentle courage. You keep your warm gaze, you hold a silence, and you touch the heart of the matter with simple words. What lies beneath the words is not a secret to be forced open. It is a truth waiting for enough care. When that care is present, people often find what they needed all along, but a name for their feeling, a reason for their choice, and a next step they can take with steady feet. Applying deep listening in real life. Deep listening is not only a skill for quiet rooms. It is a daily practice for real problems, at home, at work, and in public life. The goal is the same in every place: understand first, then respond. When people feel heard, even hard disagreements become safer and more useful. In close relationships, feelings can rise fast. One partner says, "You never have time for me," and the other fires back. With deep listening, the reply changes. You pause, breathe, and reflect. "You felt alone last week when I worked late. Did I get that right?" The tone drops. The story opens. You ask, "What would help this week?" Now the talk moves from blame to plans, and both people feel closer. Families are full of history. A parent and a teenager argue about curfew. The parent says, "It's dangerous," and the teen says, "You don't trust me." Instead of fighting, the parent uses presence and curiosity. "You want more freedom. I want you safe. What worries you about the current rule?" "What worries me is the late bus." The teen explains their view. The parent reflects the feeling and the facts. Together, they test a small change for 1 week and agree to review. The relationship stays strong while the rule evolves. At work, pressure and deadlines can make voices sharp. In a team meeting, two colleagues disagree about a plan. One says, "This is too risky." The other says, "You're blocking progress." A manager can model deep listening by naming both sides. "You want speed, you want safety. Let me check if I heard you right." Then reflect the key points and ask, "What does a safe test look like to each of you?" When both feel understood, a trial plan appears. A small pilot, clear measures, a date to revisit. The meeting ends with action, not anger. In politics and community talks, people often speak past each other. A neighbor meeting about a new shelter gets tense. One group fears crime, another fears leaving people on the street. A facilitator invites deeper listening. "Tell us what value is most important to you in this: safety, dignity, fairness." Speakers share short stories, not slogans. Listeners hold the gaze and the silence, then reflect back the heart of each message. Slowly, the room sees shared ground, safer streets and humane help, and designs a plan with both patrols and services. No one gets everything, everyone gets heard. Online, the pace is fast and the heat is high. Deep listening slows you down. Before replying, you name your own reaction, then read the other person's words twice. You reflect their main point in one line. You worry this policy will hurt small shops, and ask one open question. Many threads still collapse, but some soften. You remember there is a human behind the text, and you choose to be human too. Across all these places, the steps stay the same. You create space, listen to yourself, arrive with presence, and bring gentle curiosity. You hold the gaze without pressure and the silence without fear. You reflect back to check understanding, then, only then, you go one layer deeper. When people disagree yet want connection, this path turns conflict into movement. It does not erase differences, but it makes room for truth, respect, and the next small step forward. Challenges, growth, future. Deep listening is simple. Deep listening is simple in words and hard in life. Distractions pull at our attention and the world moves fast. A message lights still on the screen. A deadline calls. A memory pushes forward. In this noise, it is easy to give half an ear and call it enough. The first challenge is to notice this pull and then return on purpose. Even a small return, one breath, one calm look, changes the quality of the moment. Resistance also appears inside. Resistance also appears inside and between people. Part of us wants control, quick answers, and clean endings. Another part fears what we might hear if we slow down. The speaker can resist too, testing the space to see if it is truly safe. These tensions are normal. When you name them quietly and keep your steady presence, trust grows. The conversation stops feeling like a fight and starts feeling like shared work. Strong emotions are the next test. Anger can rush like fire, sadness can pull like deep water, shame can close a door in a second. Deep listening does not remove these feelings, but it gives them room to move without harm. You keep your warm gaze, hold a short silence, and reflect what you heard in simple words. With this calm frame, heat cools, tears settle, and the deeper story can appear without force. Growth comes from small practice, not big speeches. You choose one conversation a day to do a little better. You prepare the space, check your inner state, and arrive with curiosity. You make one careful reflection and ask one kind question. Some days you fail and try again. Over time, your attention becomes stronger, your reaction slower, and your care more visible. People feel the difference and begin to offer their best selves in return. The effects reach beyond two people. At home, partners argue less and repair faster because both feel understood. In families, old patterns loosen when someone listens without judgment. At work, teams spend less time stuck in blame and more time building small, smart tests. In communities, meetings shift from shouting to planning. People still disagree, but they disagree with respect, and that changes what becomes possible. The future of this practice is hopeful and practical. We will live with more speed, more voices, and more pressure. That is why deep listening matters even more. It is not a luxury for quiet days, it is a tool for busy ones. Each time you create space, hold your presence, and go one layer deeper, you teach your circle a new rhythm. The result is not perfect harmony, but steadier relationships, clearer choices, and a culture where truth can breathe. In the end, deep listening is a promise you make again and again, to meet the human in front of you with attention and care. The promise is small, but the change is real. One room at a time, one talk at a time, the practice reshapes how we live together. That is the work, and that is the future worth building.